Welcome back, guys. In the shop again today, working on the Ranger project, the old Coyote swap. Last time I think you saw that I was wrapping up with the radiator. I got that all painted, installed, tested. That should be good to go. I'm going to leave the fan off for right now, but those brackets are all made for that. Being I'm waiting for parts, it'd be nice to get the suspension in and the cross members done, but so I can get the motor set in here. But for now, being we're waiting for that stuff, I'm going to work on the firewall. I already got a hole cut down here. That's where the inertia valve sits for the fuel pump. You can see I got a hole cut there. That used to come straight down and then kind of went in. I want to make this kind of a 45 here like the rest of this is. This side I don't need as much room, but I just kind of want to clean that up. There is a chance I might have the exhaust come this way, so that little bit will help a lot because it can come back and then dump down. I'd like to go straight down with the exhaust and come lower, but I might end up going that way. And then once actually here's the panel for that. I already got a plate made up. We'll get that welded in there, tack welded and whatnot, cleaned up. And then I'll start tackling this other side where this bumps out here. I'm going to cut quite a bit of that out. You might be able to see the line there. I kind of have some of that cut out just below that reinforcement plate there for a steering column and where the brake booster would bolt up to. So once I get that one all welded in, then we'll tackle this area here. There's a lot more going on over here that I need to clean up. You can see this kind of comes straight down here and rolls under there. I need to make that more 45-ish, I guess, kind of to match the other side, which is a nice 45. It's just that the transmission is going to hit this little hump here, so I'm hoping I can just slice it and kind of fold it in and then re-weld it. So we'll see how that works, but we'll get this side welded up first. I got that side patched up there on the passenger side. That should be done. We'll paint that once we get the other side done, but this side, driver's side here by the pedals, I got the hole cut out that I wanted to. I may have to cut more out when I do the side here or the tunnel. Just depends on how that's going to kind of come together when I cut that there. But for now, what I'm going to do is make my patch here and get that welded up, and then if I have to cut more in this corner here, so be it, I guess. I would like to take as much as I could out of this little corner right here, but obviously with the pedals there, you need room on the inside for them to move. You know, that gas pedal will be somewhere in here. I did kind of straighten out the brake pedal. It did have a little bit of a curve this way. I had straightened it out just so it kind of moved the pad over, which would give me more room here for the gas pedal to move over. And then I can move, you know, the firewall in, but also to the steering column, excuse me, comes right in through here, so I can only kind of move those pedals over so much and still have room for that steering column to kind of come through here. So I think we'll be all right, but every little inch counts in this area. But yeah, if I can get rid of some of this area here, just because if I want the headers to come through this area, that would make that much more room, because this side is up higher and it's moved over that much more. So there's quite a bit of room if you wanted to run the headers up. I'm still going to try and run them down first and then back, and I'll probably try and do that on this side too, but obviously once the motor's in and all that stuff, we'll be able to figure all that out. But for now, I still want to try and create as much room there as I can, just in case we do end up running it up over the top and then down. All right, because this is such an awkward shape, I'm using tape, put over the hole here, and then I basically traced this out around here with pen. What I'll do is I'll take this off as one piece and then put it flat on a piece of cardboard or ram board is what I use, and then basically cut it out and then that way we'll have kind of a firm piece here, and I can test that. And once I'm happy with that, then I can transfer that to the metal shape. So we'll get this pulled off here real quick. Just happen to have a piece big enough here. Just slap the tape on here, and now I'm just going to cut around that, peel the tape off, and I should have my pattern. We'll test it on, make sure it fits there, and then we can transfer that to the metal. So I got my pattern here all cut out and transferred over to the steel here. This is 16 gauge. It's kind of what I just had laying around, so it's a little heavier than what the Firewall was. I believe most of the Firewall here, or most of the cab, is all 20 gauge. It's a little overkill, I guess, to put back in there. I could probably go with 20 gauge, but being a 16, it's not going to hurt anything, and you do need that extra little support on the Firewall with the pedal assembly and everything being right there. You don't want that flexing a lot. That's probably why a lot of it isn't built flat. It gives it some more support if it's got angles in there or ribs on it. Makes it a lot stronger. So this isn't going to hurt anything. We'll get that cut out, and then we'll get that all welded in right there. So I've got that patch panel all welded in, so that should be good to go. Next we're going to try and tackle this area down here. I'll actually see if I can... Oop. I got a mess in the shop right now, but let's see if I can kind of show you what my plan is here. How I'm going to cut this. If you can even see down in here or not. So if you look from, that's kind of a good angle, right here, it'd be nice to go straight through here, but right now it kind of bulges out and then wraps around. It also, right about here, kind of comes out and drops down just a little bit. So I'd like to push that all that way. And so my thought is, you can kind of see my line here. I drew, this is kind of the biggest part of the bulge. I'm going to try and cut right here, and then I'm going to slice it back quite a ways till about here. And then I'm just going to try and push it all in and try and flatten any roundness or curvedness to it. Push it all in and almost make it flat. And then weld it back together. So I don't know if everything is going to line up. You know, I'm guessing if I do push all that back in there, I'll have to trim some of it off, especially down here. But you know, I can mark it and whatnot. So, but that way I don't necessarily have to add any more pieces to it. So I'm hoping, yeah, just to slice it here and then come all the way back here, and then I'll be able to shove all that in there. This might turn out to be a nightmare, but who knows? Maybe it'll work just the way I had vision it in my head. One thing I was hoping not to do is have to necessarily pull all the carpet out, but I can't fold the carpet back far enough, and this is where I'm going to be, you know, cutting all this right here, and obviously that would start on fire if I did that. So got to pull the center console and the seats out, get the carpet out of here. I'm going to have to remove a bunch of that Dynamat that I have on there. It doesn't come off too bad, but kind of a mess. Can't weld it with that on there, so we'll kind of tackle that next here and see how that goes. But so far the Firewall, front part of the Firewall worked out okay. Hopefully soon we'll get that all painted up and keep it from rusting anymore. But well, as you can see, I got the interior all pulled out. I'm actually done with the floor modifications, but I'll kind of show you what I all did. From about here, I suppose, I split it all the way. I don't know if you can see the weld line there. All the way up. Made a couple cuts this way, and basically just sucked that whole floor in on that side. About the only piece that I had to kind of make was this triangle piece kind of right here. It just, when you fold everything in, it didn't line up right and was real goofy to pound kind of straight. So I ended up just cutting that piece out and just making one so it would fit better. But everything's welded up and got Pour 15 on there, a little coat of paint on top of that. Still probably going to end up having to cut a hole here for one for the transmission shifter cable. I think that's going to end up going up here somewhere and through the floor. And then with the steering shaft, I think I'm going to have to lower it from the original hole down a little bit, but that has yet to be seen. So on this side, I ended up putting some Dynamat back in here because that's all done. I didn't put it on the other side yet just because I might have to cut some holes and redo some stuff there too anyway with the steering column. But what's nice is even though I flattened this out on the other side, or on this side I guess, this rollover switch for the fuel pump still fits in here. That's kind of why they cut that out or make that lower and kind of stick out on the other side, just so it fits. But the wire just fits in here yet, bolts up fine. So that's kind of nice. I'll have to take it loose just to unplug the wire, but I kind of wanted to keep that in the same spot. So that's nice that that'll be all tucked up underneath the carpet once I'm done. So this side is done, and as far as the Dynamat and the floor, I shouldn't have to modify anything more on this side. It's just all on the driver's side now. Everything's painted. You know, both sides, this is all painted. I kind of showed you that when I finished up the metal work on there. So that's all sanded and clean. If you kind of look back, you can see it used to be kind of straight down here and then wrapped down. Now it's more of a kind of a 45, more rounded, so there's way more space there. I'll crawl underneath here quick. Get a little light on here. Maybe that helps or not. So I made this all, you know, cleaner, grinded this smooth just so you wouldn't see it. The inside I wasn't so worried about the welds, but this is just kind of old paint right here. But yeah, it turned out all right. I ended up massaging this part of the tunnel here too, because I think the transmission will hit. That's kind of why I got this cover off, just to massage that up a little bit. I don't think I'm going to have to cut it anymore, so maybe just put a little extra paint on there. But yeah, it came out all right. I kind of rounded this a little bit too. After I put that plate in, I kind of just hammered it just around the corner a little bit, and then this is about where that triangle piece was that I welded in. But yeah, I put some paint on there, and I like how it came out. So other than the steering column, cutting that hole, we should be good to go, I guess, with Firewall. I think I'll have clearances for the exhaust and engine and everything else. So yeah, not terribly difficult. Just kind of time consuming to cut and weld all that, grind that flat, and it's just kind of a mess for a while, but get paint on there. So yeah, till next time, I guess, guys, that'll be the wrap of this video, and appreciate you watching. We'll see you later.